You're paying $120 a month across 5 different AI subscriptions, one for image gen, one for video, one for music, one for lip sync, another for scripting. And somehow your characters still look like a different person every 4 seconds. That's because the tools were never designed to talk to each other. What if one platform replaced the entire stack? I've been testing Flova AI for the past couple of weeks, and I need to walk you through what this thing actually does. Because it's not just another AI video generator with a chat box slapped on top. It's closer to an AI production team you direct through conversation. And the way it handles character consistency, workflow automation, and even lip-synced music videos is worth breaking down properly. The agent, not the tool. Here's the core idea. Most AI video tools work like vending machines. You feed in a prompt, you get a clip, and if you don't like it, you start over from scratch. Flova works differently. It positions itself as an AI video agent, meaning when you type a concept into the chat, it doesn't just spit out a clip. It builds you a script, generates a storyboard, creates visual assets, selects the right AI models for each task, and then assembles the final edit. All inside one interface. And the models it's pulling from aren't slouches. We're talking Sora 2 for video generation, Nano Banana Pro for image consistency, Kling 3.0 for physics-heavy animation, Veo 3.1 for cinematic long takes, Suno for music, ElevenLabs for voiceover. Normally, you'd be tab switching between 6 different platforms and praying the outputs match. Here, they're coordinated under one roof by the agent itself. Here's the part that surprised me. You're not locked into accepting whatever the agent gives you. As it generates, you can like or dislike individual outputs, and Flova remembers those preferences for future generations. You can also click Edit Prompt on any specific segment to manually refine it without reprompting the entire project. It's not one prompt and pray. It's iterative. But the real question isn't what models are available. It's whether the outputs are actually usable, and that comes down to a feature Flova calls skills. Skills. Why this isn't just prompt roulette. So if the agent is your director, skills are your assistant directors. Each one built around a specific professional filmmaking workflow. They encapsulate standardized production rules, so you're not spending hours fine-tuning prompts. More importantly, they eliminate what I'd call the AI lottery. That randomness where you generate 10 clips and maybe one is usable. Skills make the output predictable and repeatable. Let me show you two that matter. Multi-shot cutting. Most AI video generators create rigid 4-second clips that feel completely disjointed when you stitch them together. You've seen these. The character teleports between shots, the lighting changes randomly, the whole thing feels like a slideshow pretending to be cinema. The multi-shot cutting skill takes a completely different approach. Here's the actual workflow. First, the agent designs a storyboard where each shot is 8 to 12 seconds long and can include multiple camera transitions within a single clip. Not one static angle, but natural cuts built into the generation itself. Then it uses Nano Banana Pro to generate key element images, essentially a character reference sheet with 3 view angles, and locks those in as visual anchors. Next, it generates the first frame of each shot using those locked elements as references. And finally, it hands those first frames to the video model to generate the full clips. There's also a compositional rule baked in. Every scene's first frame defaults to a medium shot, so all characters are visible and any dialogue is accounted for. That sounds small, but it's the kind of professional directing convention that AI tools normally ignore entirely. You don't have to prompt for it. The skill enforces it automatically. Now, one practical note. Sora 2 gives you the best multi-shot quality, but it has compliance restrictions, especially for US-based IPs and photorealistic human styles. If you run into that, you can swap to WAN 2.6 or Seedance 1.5 Pro with the same skill. WAN gives you slightly lower multi-shot quality but minimal restrictions. Seedance adds more camera movement and also has fewer restrictions. The workaround for IP-protected characters is simple. Describe the character's features instead of using their name. So instead of Goku, you'd say a warrior in a blue camouflage outfit with spiky black hair. The skill handles the rest. Tail-to-head frame connection. This one solves a problem that anyone who's tried to make a multi-shot AI video knows intimately, the jarring jump between clips. Shot A ends with a character in a blue jacket facing left. Shot B starts with the same character suddenly in a slightly different blue jacket facing right. It's subtle, but your brain catches it immediately. Tail-to-head frame connection forces the final frame of one clip to become the starting frame of the next. The same pixel data, the same composition, so every intermediate image serves a dual role. It's the end frame of one shot and the start frame of the next, sharing the same asset ID. When the video plays, it feels like one continuous take rather than a sequence of loosely related generations. Combined with Nano Banana Pro's asset binding, which locks character appearance across the entire project, you get something that actually feels like a coherent short film instead of an AI demo reel. And here's the part that got my attention. You can direct camera movements between those connected frames. Dollies, pans, zooms. Described in plain language, not through some obscure parameter menu. The system hands that off to models like Kling 2.5, Kling 3.0, or Veo 3.1 depending on what the shot requires. AI anime. Character consistency that actually works. Now let's talk about anime because this is one of the areas where AI video has historically fallen apart the hardest. You generate a beautiful character in one frame, and by the next frame, they've got a different hairstyle and 3 extra fingers. Character drift is the single biggest reason most AI anime looks amateurish. Flova attacks this with what I'd call a define first, generate second philosophy. Before any animation happens, you use Nano Banana Pro to create a cinematic contact sheet. Think of it as a 3x3 grid showing your character from multiple angles and expressions. You then save that as a reusable element, and it becomes the locked reference that the system pulls from for every subsequent shot. So when you type something like, "My character runs across rooftops, camera tracking from behind, then cuts to a close-up as she leaps," every frame of that sequence references back to the same locked character profile. No drift, no lottery. There's another feature here that's easy to miss but incredibly powerful: comment-driven generation. You can type plain language instructions directly onto any asset in the storyboard, an image, a shot, a frame, and it updates in real time. So instead of going back to the main chat and redescribing your entire scene, you just annotate the specific thing you want changed. Make the lighting warmer. Add wind to her scarf. Change the camera angle to low. It's like leaving notes for your editor, except the editor executes them instantly. There are some smart model pairings built in too. For high-action sequences with complex physics, hair flowing, fabric moving, fast combat, the system pairs Nano Banana Pro with Kling 3.0 Omni, which handles those dynamics well. For more stylized, illustration-heavy anime, it can pair Midjourney V7 with Veo Q3 Pro for rapid multi-grid generation. And if you want that Pixar-level 3D storytelling look, it'll pair Midjourney with Sora 2 for lighting and spatial depth. And if you're 3 shots in and shot 2 doesn't work, you don't scrap the project. The Node Rewind feature lets you jump back to that specific moment in the generation history, change the prompt, and branch off in a new direction, while keeping everything else intact. It's version control for creative work. One more thing. Once you're happy with the output, beginners can use one-click assembly to arrange everything on a timeline and edit quickly. If you're more advanced, you can export the entire project as a Premiere Pro or CapCut file and finish it in your existing editing workflow. OmniHuman 1.5, one photo, one song, one music video. This is the feature that made me sit up. OmniHuman 1.5 takes a single image, a photo, an anime character, a 3D avatar, even a picture of a pet, pairs it with a song, and generates a lip-synced music video. And it's not just mouth movements. The character sways with the rhythm. Head movements match the beat. Body language responds to the energy of the track. You can then direct camera angles through the chat, pans, tilts, zooms, to give it that polished MV feel. It works for dialogue-driven content too. If you're building a narrative with talking characters, OmniHuman handles emotional lip sync for storytelling scenes. Not robotic mouth flaps, but expressions that match the emotional tone of the dialogue. Combined with Flova's element feature, the character stays on model across long segments, which is critical if you're producing anything beyond a 15-second clip. Where this gets interesting for creators is the multi-singer support. You can build complex multi-character music videos or dramatic shorts, where different characters each have their own vocals or dialogue, all synced correctly. That's a workflow that would normally require After Effects, a lip-sync plugin, manual keyframing, and about 4 hours of your weekend. It also holds up on challenging angles and non-human characters, which is where most lip-sync tools completely fall apart. Anime faces, 3D renders, stylized characters. OmniHuman handles them without the usual distortion you get from tools that were trained exclusively on photorealistic human faces. The cost math. Let's do the math, because this is where the value proposition clicks. If you were to replicate what Flova does using individual subscriptions, you're looking at roughly $20 a month for Gemini or ChatGPT for scripting logic, $30 for Midjourney for image generation, $50 or more for a video generation tool like Runway or Kling standalone, and another $20 plus for audio generation. That's $120 a month minimum, and you're still doing all the integration work yourself, exporting from one tool, importing to another, praying the formats are compatible. Flova consolidates over 20 models into a single platform starting at $19 a month. Sora 2, Kling 3.0, Nano Banana Pro, Veo 3.1, Midjourney, Suno, ElevenLabs, all accessible from one conversational interface. Whether that pricing holds as the platform scales, I don't know, but right now, the cost-to-capability ratio is hard to argue with. If you want to try it yourself, I've got a link in the description. Click it to sign up, and you'll get 1,000 credits immediately. That's 500 on registration, plus another 500 bonus. You also get 500 credits every week just for logging in. First 500 people through the link get that deal, so don't sit on it. If you subscribe, your first month comes with a 100% bonus on credits. Whatever plan you pick, you're getting double. And if you go through the full workflow, concept to final video, you'll earn an extra 200 credits on top of that, just for completing the process. Look, I'm not going to tell you Flova replaces a professional production pipeline. It doesn't. But for solo creators, small teams, and anyone who's been duct taping 5 AI tools together and losing their mind over character consistency, this is the closest thing I've seen to a unified production agent that actually delivers on the promise. I'll keep testing it and let you know how it holds up. If you've already tried Flova, drop your experience in the comments. I'm curious what workflows are working for you.